Welcome to episode 74 of the Left Behind Game Club. This week, we watched the Game Awards over a couple bottles of wine. Now, this is not a typical episode of the Left Behind Game Club. Typically, we play old games and talk about them like a book club, but once or twice a year, we get together around a great event in the gaming industry and talk about it. If you want to talk about the Game Awards with the Left Behind Game Club community, you can find our Discord at leftbehindgame.club. You can find us on Twitter at leftbehindclub and on Instagram at leftbehindgameclub. Let's get right into it.
You're listening to the Left Behind Game Club.
Welcome to the Left Behind Game Club, our never-ending attempt to make sure that no game is left behind. I'm your host, McCourt, and today I have two friends with me. The first friend, you know her, you love her. Her name is Katie Lesperance.
Hello.
My second friend, sitting right next to Katie, sharing a microphone with Katie, is a friend you may know from past podcasts. His name is Travis Colenutt.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Today we are talking about the 2019 Game Awards. The three of us just sat, had a few glasses of wine, and watched a few and watched what was a great edition of the Keeleys once again.
The Keeleys.
The Keeleys.
I didn't know they were called that.
They aren't. Well, they're like colloquially called the Keeleys.
They should be called the Keeleys.
They should be called the Keeleys.
Like the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Keeleys.
I mean, that's what he's trying to do with it, right?
He wants to make a name for himself.
I mean, he's Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, I guess.
In all fairness, Katie, and I'm sorry to put you on blast here, but like, you didn't really ever see Jeff Keighley before tonight, right?
No.
Because you've never watched the Game Awards.
I've never actually watched it. I've watched the recaps, or read the recaps. I've never sat down and streamed the Game Awards. And then I had you two guys over. And we're like, we're going to watch the Game Awards. And you know what? I had a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah?
It's entertaining.
Travis.
Yeah.
They're announcing a new No More Heroes game.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a trailer for No More Heroes.
Because it started out like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
No,
type
honestly,
deal,
like
right?
we're sitting here like, what is this? And Katie's like, this is not for me. And this is not for. I legit got up and walked away. And then we're just like, what is this? And all of a sudden, like the screen breaks and Travis Touchdown shows up, and I'm like, what is happening?
It was anime before the.
Which I mean is No More Heroes. No More Heroes is anime. Let's be real, but. When I saw that, I was like, what's happening? And then it said there's an extended trailer, which I have not yet watched, but I'm super interested. I mean, I love No More Heroes. I love the first two games. I mean, the protagonist shares my name. Not that is a key factor in it, but, you know, it's one of the parts. And then
would having Touchdown as a last name be difficult?
I mean, it's probably better than my current last name, so.
You have a good last name.
No.
No, he doesn't.
No, Touchdown would be better.
It's a bad last
Yeah,
name.
it is.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I love you and all, but Colenutt, I don't know. It's not great.
I'd rather have Touchdown.
I'm surprised that your wife took your name. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
'Cause
The daggers are
it's
coming
rough.
out.
What?
The daggers are coming out.
Yeah, daggers.
You know what's bigger than a dagger?
What?
Cloud's sword.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy VII, the
Wow.
remake, the trailer
I
that
liked
came
that segue.
immediately after that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm the king of segues.
Yes, I like that. I like, having never played Final Fantasy VII, I'm super into Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't really know why or how, but I've delved enough into the lore to know.
How do you get into Final Fantasy VII so hard? You were so excited, and you've never played it.
You know what? Okay, so my cousins had a demo for Final Fantasy VII that they got out of, I want to say, Game Pro magazine.
Okay.
Way back in the day.
I love me
for
some
PS1,
demo games.
And we played that demo so many times.
Oh, so like the opening time crunch thing?
Yeah, the time crunch thing. And you played that demo so many times that you just start loving it. The music just kind of gets etched into your brain.
So you just internet it?
I honestly...
Fan of Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. And
forever?
I grew up with Nintendo systems, so I never had a PS...
Oh, right.
I never had a PlayStation. I played a lot of Final Fantasy IX at my uncle's house, but once again, it was a case of I played the first disc of Final Fantasy IX, and then he didn't have enough save memory on his disc,
that's so
I would go
sad.
over, play the first full disc, and then have to, like, there goes my game. I would leave and have to start all over every time I go over to my uncle's house.
I just picture you like hiding in the bathroom or something and trying to like stay there the night and trying to hide so you can finish it.
Yeah, no, so I ended up having to like replay that game over and over again. Not that like Final Fantasy IX is anything like 7, but at the same time I have just this affinity for the characters.
The Final Fantasy VII remake showed up as a presentation on the Game Awards, and the only person in the room that got excited was you. And you were like,
played them.
Yes, thank God. I've never played it ever. I'm so excited for the remake.
And I'm sitting here thinking,
puzzled
like,
me.
I should probably play the first one so I can
Probably.
appreciate the remake a
Honestly,
little bit better.
at this point, you might as well just play the remake.
Pretty much. But
I mean, Final Fantasy came up, and I think you heard it. I literally handed my microphone off to Katie because I'm like, I don't Final Fantasy. I've never Final Fantasy. I played Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles one time.
No.
But like, Final Fantasy's not my stuff.
You know what's funny?
So I'm going to pass this microphone again because not my thing.
So I've been saying, literally while we've been watching the entire Game Awards, every game that's being announced or showed is fantasy-like. It's very, it's all dragons and suits of armor.
And that's not your game at all.
And that's not my game. Guess which Final Fantasy is not that? Final Fantasy VII. It's
that's
true.
true.
It's industrial.
Yeah,
it's sci-fi.
It's a little bit more sci-fi than all the other ones. Yes,
and that's
you're
probably
right.
why I'm drawn to it, even though I've never played it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
I mean, there's other ones. I don't know about the newer ones. Like,
I love how you're like, I don't care. Hand waving
Yeah.
to all the other Final
I
Fantasies.
think 14 might be a bunch of shirtless guys driving in a car, and I don't think that sounds very like.
That's not for you.
No, I'm good.
Come
but
on,
like,
dude.
But like, also that doesn't sound like fantasy. So
Yeah. Isn't it?
it's not my fantasy. But I mean.
I don't know. That sounds like it, but I don't know.
But that's the
just
thing. So
me.
Final Fantasy VII holds a special place in my heart for having never
played it.
Yeah. So I was super excited about that.
It's a super nostalgia place in your heart.
Yep. Yeah.
Good. You know what?
Music and everything. Like, I know all that music from that.
know.
Oh yeah. Like, it's very strange.
I just played Tactics.
And I mean, it's not like they even
That's about
showed
it.
very much more. I was just like, oh,
No.
this is cool. I know
It's
all
Final
of
Fantasy
this.
VII.
Yep. Yeah. Final Fantasy
It
VII
looks
remake.
nice. It looks real pretty.
Yeah. Oh, it looks great. I'm
Yeah.
super excited for it.
In the pre-show, we had those two announcements. Then we had the DLC announcement for Mortal Kombat 11 that Joker and Harley Quinn. Now, is that new or is that just like they gave a date?
Which Travis
or...
has played a lot
Yeah.
of Mortal Kombat in the last year.
Yeah, so they've announced Joker already, like as part of the combat pack. We saw the thing and I thought it was just a commercial for Mortal Kombat. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I didn't expect to actually see Joker like on screen because he is the next character to be released. And then because they just recently released Sindel, who is amazing, and then. Joker, I think the thing is though, like in the original combat pack trailer, Joker kind of looked a bit like a cosplayer. I'm not gonna like. He looked a bit off, and
he looked like a really bad Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, not in a good way at all.
No, it wasn't a good way at all.
No, and so this, I was like, oh. He sounds good. He looks good. I'm okay with it. And I mean, it was just a little taste of it. But yeah, so I mean, he's coming out sometime soon. And I'll probably, I mean, I already have the combat pack, so I'll get him already.
Yeah, January 28th is when he's coming out. So
I don't follow Mortal Kombat that closely. Do they do that often where they get people outside of the Mortal Kombat universe and insert them into the game? Because Joker seems very out of place compared, because I've played Mortal Kombat with you and I looked at all the characters and Joker does not fit in with all of the other ones. So I'm interested, is this a thing that they do at all?
Yeah, so because WB, Warner Brothers, owns NetherRealm, NetherRealm was the people who make Mortal Kombat. They also make Injustice. And so Injustice is all the DC character fighting game stuff. So that's Superman, Batman, Joker, all those characters. They are the ones who make those fighting games as well. But the thing is, on top of that, like, yes, Joker is a property that they own, so they can add him into the game. But up until actually since Mortal Kombat 9, I believe they've been adding in guest horror characters. So I think Freddy Krueger was in there. The Terminator is in this current game. Past games had Alien from, like, the xenomorph alien from Aliens, Predator. There's a handful of other ones. Jason. So there's like a lot of like different horror genre characters that are in Mortal Kombat games in the last 3 iterations of the game.
Okay.
So Joker being in it is like, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think the last Injustice game, Injustice 2, had Raiden and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat as guest characters for DLC in Injustice 2.
Oh, okay. So
like,
kind of mixed and matched both ways.
You don't view it as a, like, hey, this is Joker being part of the Mortal Kombat universe.
Just as like a money, like, hey,
yeah,
get
like,
people to play Mortal Kombat.
And like, oh, look, here's Joker and it's Mortal Kombat, so you can be super violent with him.
Right.
Whereas,
well,
like,
okay, more violent than the other Mortal Kombat characters, please.
But I mean, as opposed to Injustice. Injustice is not
I see.
bloody
I
and
see
gory
what you're
and
saying.
gross
Being
like
more
that.
cartoony,
Exactly.
violent with Joker in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so you can be like super gory with Joker in Mortal Kombat.
I was thinking you were upping the violence in Mortal Kombat, which is ludicrous.
No, you're upping Joker's violence.
Gotcha.
Level. Yeah,
Okay.
So
More on the pre-show. Violence. How about that Maneater game? The shark game that looked really amazing. I said it was like Echo the Dolphin was murderous.
I am so excited. Okay, this game showed up, and I was like, oh, I get to be the shark? Because anytime I'm in a video game and I am underwater, I am terrified. Literally, as soon as you get the option to dive underwater, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to dive underwater because I'm so anxious the entire time that some weird thing is going to just slide up and bite me or eat me or whatever. So the idea of being underwater and being like the baddest thing underwater and just eating everything and just like attacking everything and destroying boats and eating people, I'm actually really excited for this. I think it's awesome.
this is what Untitled Shark Game?
Very good.
I'm
very
pretty
good.
sure that's what this is.
I feel like we're gonna. I'm surprised there wasn't more like Untitled blank game jokes in this.
I feel like
thing.
that's like the easiest joke to make. Is Untitled Shark
I mean,
Game.
there was one very good one that
Yes.
we'll talk about later, but no, that game looks entertaining.
Mhm.
I think that was pretty much all in the pre-show.
Yeah.
What I think we'll do is we'll talk about our favorite moments and then go through the entire list of winners. And if there's anything we want to talk about there, we will. But I think the show kicked off with the Xbox announcement. Like that was the big thing that started. And I think we saw the box, which is here. We know what it looks like now. And we got the name. And I think we were hung up on the name for at least 5 minutes just talking about how I don't understand why this Xbox Series X is the name. Why?
Yeah, there was an awkward silence in the room. We were all just kind of puzzled. We're like, okay, there's the box. That's what it looks like. It's fine. It's a box. It has lights that
it looks
light
like
up.
a PC.
Yeah, it's fine. And then, I don't know, X Series is just... It's okay. Here's the thing with the box. It's really a box.
Yeah.
It's not like a rectangle. It's not something you can turn on its side and it's slimmer. It is a square rectangle.
It looks like a subwoofer or like an old compact computer.
It's really
but black.
big looking.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Which honestly, at the end of the day, if it performs and they have really good games, it doesn't matter what the box looks like.
The name could be the Xbox Kilimanjaro.
Yes. X Series. Yes, honestly, it doesn't matter. But I'm
Anaconda,
like,
Salamander, like it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I mean, what are the code names? Scarlet and
I forget what the other one is.
Anaconda.
Anaconda, yes, that's what.
Yeah.
Which, yes. And so I don't know if they come out with the games, all of this is irrelevant. But we were just like, really?
Well, especially because they have an Xbox One X, like that is their top console right now.
The X Series, it's not
Series X. Yeah, it's
it
weird.
doesn't hit at all. It's not bold in any way, so
Maybe it doesn't
know.
have to be. Maybe they're going after the
It
Apple
doesn't.
thing now, where they're going to just name their Xbox the Xbox every single time they release a new one.
Yes, But they had such a weak generation that it's like, oh, you're coming out real weak.
Xbox had a weak generation?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same generation?
Xbox One?
Game Pass revolutionized the way games are distributed.
Sure.
Period.
No one wants to play most of those games.
On Xbox Game Pass?
Xbox Game Pass is good because of the deal, not because of the games.
You said you wanted to play Gears 5 during this
Yeah,
thing.
I do. That's one game. That is not...
Outer Worlds. How about that one?
That's on PS4. I can play that anywhere.
It's on Xbox One as well. Obsidian's next game will only be on Microsoft platforms.
Okay, we'll see what that game is.
Right.
I don't know if that game's good or not.
Right. But
you're not selling me on an Xbox right now on a future game.
I'm selling you on a service, not on actual games. Did you just win?
I think so. A service with crappy games does not make a good service.
It's not crappy games. It's just like
it's weak sauce.
The selection may be limited.
Oh, we're gonna throw down.
I think we're gonna throw down.
The selection may be limited.
Did I just market you right there?
That was weak. Come on. Oh, you should take this service. Our selection may be limited.
I feel like Series X, aren't they all Series X? I feel like...
You sound super meta right now.
No, but I mean, okay, the Xbox One X. The X, it's already part of the
Yeah, you're right.
Series
X is part of the name.
It doesn't define anything to me.
No, it's not specific at all. It doesn't hit at all.
It doesn't define anything to me. And I mean, I am the person who knows the least about Microsoft games in this room, so I probably am not the one to comment on it. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand. It doesn't mean anything to me.
It did not make me want to get the next Xbox.
It's nice that PlayStation is PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what's coming. It's not messy. It's fine. Nintendo has different console names, but it's fine. GameCube, it's a cube, and you play games on it. We have fun. Whatever. I don't know. The Switch, but the Switch makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Switch is a great name.
I don't know what I'm getting out of Series X. It sounds high end and classy. It sounds nice.
A PS5 sounds nice, and a Nintendo Switch, it says it all in the name.
Right.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
And it's quick and it's easy to know.
Yeah.
And then Xbox Series X, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree.
The first game that was announced as a part of the console was Hellblade 2. Sorry, the game's title officially is actually Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga or Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Is that your killer app? I don't think so.
Not to be the Xbox downer here. I think we know my opinion on this whole thing. That's not a...
You're a console fanboy. Go on.
That is not a console seller. I'm sure it's probably going to be a fantastic game. I don't have any issue with that. It's probably going to be a game that I'm probably going to want to play. But as a console seller, for a console that needs its next generation to be really, really good and to sell really, really well, it's probably not that great.
I mean, that's probably your fourth or fifth down the line.
Yes.
I think that the studio behind it is very talented. Can't remember their name for some reason right now, but they're incredibly talented. Ninja Theory. They've made some great games over the years, but I don't think this is the Xbox killer app. It's probably coming. This is just the first announcement. So.
Yes, I'm sure they'll come out with a console seller game, but yeah, that's not it. It's just a curious choice for the first game.
What I think I'll do is, because I think that was kind of the biggest announcement, I think what I'll do is I'll just start running through the actual trailers, and then if there's anything you guys want to talk about, just stop me. I think the first one would probably be Bravely Default 2. It's a game that we haven't really... None of us have played.
Nope, no, nothing about... As soon as I think what was it, a Switch thing? I was oh, yes, please be Bayonetta or Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4, and that's all I was hoping out for this thing, and then I was oh, it's Square Enix. Oh, okay. And then, and then I was oh, this looks like a Square Enix game. And then the only thing I know about Bravely Default is that someone I worked with played the first one.
That's exactly what you said.
That's a good intro. Someone I worked with played the first one. Yeah, I am more optimistic about Square Enix than you are, Travis. But still, I was like, default. I don't know what this game is. I don't care.
There's a lot of Magic the Gathering related announcements tonight. I think one general complaint that you had, Travis, was that there was a ton of fantasy.
So much fantasy.
And you just like got fantasied out halfway through.
I've mentioned this before.
All
on
of your
this
fantasies
podcast,
were spent.
I have mentioned this before, that if you're going to give me some fantasy world, it better be set in the far future than set in the far past.
That's sci-fi.
Yes, I like sci-fi. If I don't know, I'm fantasied out. And a lot of the stuff that they showed in this game, during the Game Awards, in terms of like the trailers, the upcoming games, the commercials for everything, it was all very mystical fantasy settings, lots of dragons, they all kind of merged into one for me. Like, honestly, you'd have to like specifically call out these games for me to be like, oh, maybe I remember, but they all merge into one in my head because I can't differentiate them.
Magic the Gathering Arena, Theros Beyond Death was the first one. Do you remember much about it?
No, like what is that?
Yeah, no, we don't really remember that. I mean, I am the fantasy fan more so than Travis is. I mean, Cyberpunk, I am pumped for.
Cyberpunk looks great.
Well, yeah, it's sci-fi. But yeah, I was like, ooh, dragons and swords. No. I'm excited. Travis was like, where is the other stuff?
I mean,
I'm super bored.
You just bought Skyrim like today or yesterday, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never played Skyrim.
Sorry to like put you on blast like
right?
that.
Being like, oh yeah, I like fantasy. I've never played Skyrim.
But I mean, you've played Oblivion.
The game that's on everything else. But
Have you played Oblivion?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you played Morrowind?
Yes.
Well, then there you go. You're fine.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's a game that might actually make us unsad is Control. They announced their new DLC, Expeditions, that's coming as a free update to all Control players very soon.
I really want to play Control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person who usually plays games right away when they come out. I usually wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I know Travis is very excited to play Control.
I'm super excited to play Control. I haven't had the chance to play it yet. As soon as the announcement for the DLC came on, I quickly averted my eyes and stopped paying attention to the Game Awards because I did not want to be spoiled in any way, shape, or form when it comes to Control. So yeah, I have no idea what the DLC is about because I didn't watch it out of fear of spoilers. But I'm super interested to play Control. I asked for it for Christmas. We'll see if I get it. If I don't get it, I'm definitely buying it myself. It's something that I'm super, 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 super into. So
Godfall.
What was that?
Yeah, Godfall. Warframe announced their Imperium expansion.
Warframe.
Sons of the Forest. Ruined King. One thing we saw was League of Legends announced a few separate games that are not League of Legends games. I think you guys are staring at me going,
yeah, I don't play League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's not my jam. I don't play really multiplayer a whole lot. It'd have to be an exceptional game for me to play multiplayer. So no. So we were all just kind of like, okay, cool.
Yeah, there was a bunch in the middle.
Legends.
There was like a few like gaps where we were like, okay, we just started talking because there wasn't really that much. Like there was another Dungeons and Dragons game, Dark Alliance, that was announced.
Some more swords and dragons.
Yep. But then we got a trailer for Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh yeah, and you were super excited about that.
I think there's 2 times throughout this whole thing that I think I was like, oh, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps was one of them.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
Blind Forest is great.
You loved the first one.
I did.
You should go back and listen to that podcast.
Hey. That's a plug.
Yep.
But it's a fantastic game. It's on Game Pass day 1. You can get it on Switch as well, but you should get it on Game Pass.
Are you trying to sell Xbox to me?
Am I trying to sell Xbox to you or Xbox?
Xbox.
Okay.
There's been some wine, okay?
I mean, you could be talking about wrestling. There is a wrestler named X-Pac. Wrestling. I've had a few wines too. We got Weird West after that, which was the game from the creator of Prey. It was like a top-down
yeah, that personally
RPG.
did nothing for me. I don't know.
More Magic
maybe in the
games,
future.
More Magic games, but I think there's a couple that we want to talk about now. We got a full trailer for Ghosts of Tsushima after that. What did you guys think of Ghosts of Tsushima?
I don't actually remember it, honestly.
What?
Which one was that one?
That one's like
Explain it to me.
the Horizon but samurai style game.
Oh, right.
At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Which I would be super excited. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, but samurai style.
I didn't know that's what this was.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it looks cool.
Just based on the art.
Yeah.
And I mean, the combat is, obviously close combat instead of ranged like Horizon.
Yeah.
But
just the visualness, just the way the game looked.
yeah, it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked cool.
It looks like I want to hack people up samurai style, but Sekiro looks too hard. Like, I want to have fun hacking people up instead of, being stressed hacking people up samurai style. So
Wow.
this game...
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I want to have fun hacking people up instead of being stressed about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to submit this to the police if anything ever happens to any of my friends when someone's ever hacked up. So that was Ghost of Tsushima, a game developed by Sucker Punch that's coming out finally in summer of 2020, kind of the last breath that the PS4's got. Gears Tactics, which is a tactics game. We don't know who's making the game, but that's the thing that's coming out. It reminded me a lot. Did either of you play Full Spectrum Warrior many, many years ago?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
Me neither.
It was like a military tactics game that came out on console. It just reminded me of that a lot. I'm going to name off a couple and then 9 to 5.
Nope, me neither.
I love that movie.
9 to 5 was that shooter that reminded me of Rainbow Six Siege, but like there were bunnies that started the trailer.
That whole thing was very odd.
Mm-hmm.
There was the bunnies, and then 9 to 5 is just a strange name for a video game.
Yep.
It does not sound immersive in any way.
It just doesn't say what it is.
No, not at all. Nothing about the name says anything.
Yeah.
9 to 5. It sounds like it should be some like a company name rather than a game name.
Right. Surgeon Simulator 2, which we were just like, sure. The last two ones I think we will want to talk about. The Wolf Among Us 2 got announced. I freaked out.
Yeah, you got real excited about that.
I did. I loved The Wolf Among Us.
Well,
we played it on this pod.
Listen to
great.
this podcast
Yeah.
and you'll hear the first one.
There's a plug.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because Telltale died.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, I'm confused.
Yeah.
How is this happening?
Telltale died, and then they got brought back by another company purchased them.
Okay.
And they started contracting some of the old Telltale employees
Gotcha.
to make projects.
Okay.
It sounds like this will be in partnership with another studio, but like beyond a trailer that was like 30 seconds long, there wasn't really much.
What happened to the Telltale games that, like the Walking Dead ones? I thought there was like something about
a lot of them were delisted.
Right.
Because Telltale doesn't exist, so like who are we going to pay money to?
Right. So they're just gone.
But I think, like I said, they got delisted, and then Telltale, the new version of Telltale, is out. So all these games are now back on consoles.
Gotcha.
But nothing new beyond this.
Yeah.
And the final seasons of The Walking Dead are like a thing.
Oh, okay.
The last thing was Fast and Furious. And boy, that was a thing.
That was a thing. I mean, first, like, Michelle Rodriguez comes out, which you may know her from The Fast and the Furious and Lost. Which, I mean, I loved her on Lost, but that's...
Yeah, she was great on Lost.
And I mean, she came out. She did a thing. Vin Diesel then came out.
It
and
was slightly awkward.
did a thing.
Yeah, they were both there.
Yeah.
They were... He was massive. To the point where sometimes guys are too big where their arms stick out from their body.
Yeah, I have this problem.
Where they hold their arms out at a certain angle away from their body and they just look awkward in life, just moving around. He was real big. I mean, he looked great. He was just big. I noticed. And it's not the worst thing to notice, I guess. But, and then, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that was the game that they were
that was the last thing that they
were
announced.
announcing.
Was a game that did not look great.
Yeah, it kind
visually
of seemed PS3-ishy.
Yeah, the visuals were not great. The graphics were not great. It might be a fun game. I don't know.
Right.
It's not out yet.
Is it a racing game?
But I don't know. I mean, it's Fast and Furious. It has to be a racing game.
Yeah, it's not really my jam.
But it didn't look great.
I mean, one thing we said is it just seemed incredibly... it looked very early.
Right, but it's coming out in May.
Yeah, and it's being developed by Slightly Mad, who did the Project Cars games. So, like, the car stuff might be good, but are they going to go outside the car? Is this going to be like a Driver parallel line situation where it's... Or Driver 3, which... Driver 3 is not a good...
Oh, no?
Not a good video game.
I don't even know.
Driver San Francisco, good video game. Driver 3, bad video game.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot about the Driver series. Ask me
Apparently,
more questions.
yeah.
But that's kind of how... And then they announced the Game of the Year, which, again, I was like, oh, we're doing the end of this show.
Yeah.
It was big stars to announce the Game of the Year, but it did not feel appropriate. Same thing, because the game did not look that great, and they were not super...
They were, like, straight up just talking to each other.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't the most professional. It wasn't the most... Again, I love them both. But they went off book. They were just talking to each other. Again, that's fun, but not for the last award of the night.
Right.
That's like a middle of the night. We're going off book. We're chatting with each other. We're keeping things lively. It's not the last award vibe that you want to go for. And it's not the last game announcement that you want to do. We expected more. We were kind of laid down. We were like, oh, that's the last
I guess
game.
That's it. And then, like Jeff came out at the end after they announced the winner, and it was just like, okay, that's it. Thank you. And it's done. And we're like, oh, there's no, big thing to kind of end this on? I guess I was kind of surprised.
It reminded me a lot of, an Oscars. Because the Oscars, by the end of the night, you're, so done. And, yeah.
It absolutely felt like the Oscars. I watch the Oscars every year. I don't know why, because they're not that great, but I watch them every year. It's a thing me and my sister do.
I watch them every year, too.
We set up, we get some snacks, we drink some wine, and we watch the Oscars. They're not great most of the time, especially by the end of the night. They're kind of anticlimactic, and that's what this was. I enjoyed them overall, as I usually do with the Oscars, but it was just like, oh, I guess we're done now.
Yep.
That's it.
One last thing we didn't cover that Travis got very excited about was the announcements for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I legit said, oh, this is Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And then seconds before they announced the first character, I was like, if it's not any X-Men characters, I don't care. And boom, it was X-Men character after X-Men character after X-Men character. It was Cable, then Iceman, then Gambit, then Phoenix. And I was like, wow. This is all X-Men characters. I'm like, hey, that's fine. I'm down for that. I mean, I loved the first and second X-Men Legends games. I love those games so incredibly much. I would legit kill someone for an X-Men Legends 3. You can send this to the police if you really need.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold this in evidence for both of you.
Yeah. If X-Men Legends 3 came out, I would die. And then Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it's fine, but I am an X-Men fan at heart. So you want to throw in some Thor and boring Captain America, sure, great. But give me those X-Men characters. And I knew that Ultimate Alliance 3 had its fair share of X-Men characters, and I think the first batch of DLC already included Cyclops and Colossus and a few other X-Men characters. This batch is entirely X-Men, and I'm like, wow, okay, because X-Men is kind of in a tour de force right now where everything is kind of really big, and the comics are really on this upswing after House and Powers. So I'm not surprised that the X-Men are the focus of this DLC bundle. Don't think I'm going to get that game yet, but I'm excited that it exists because that means more X-Men properties are out there. More X-Men things are out there, and that's just exciting because I'm a fan of it.
Yeah,
so.
The more X-Men, the better for you.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if I'm going to actually consume it, the more the better.
I think that's all from a games perspective, but there were some moments that I think we probably should talk about. Musical performances. I'm a big fan of CHVRCHES, so having CHVRCHES open the show was super dope. Their song from Death Stranding with the Game Awards Orchestra was great.
Yeah, I like a lot of CHVRCHES stuff. And then anytime you get a big orchestra with a lot of players together and it just sounds really good, I enjoy it. So I was really, really pumped when they lifted the curtain and there was a whole orchestra there. I was like, I'm in. I will listen to this.
Grimes performed. And there was an awkward Elon Musk moment there as well.
So
do I stand up? Do I not stand up? Okay, I guess I'm not standing up.
The Grimes performance was fine. I was like, all right.
She climbed in a virtual box.
Yeah, it was fine. And then
It was unique.
Sure.
Was she singing or no?
It wasn't that unique, but it's fine.
Just dancing? It was unique.
That's my statement. And then Elon Musk. They're still together, but that's not relevant to the discussion. It's fine.
They just did it for the memes.
You know what? Good for them. They're still together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got to say.
And then Green Day was the last musical performance, and I'm going to hand the mic off because I don't know much about Green Day. I made a really terrible joke about.
I don't remember what joke you said.
I was bored with it, so I said, "Wake me up when September ends."
Oh yes, you're right. That was a terrible joke. Yeah, they could have picked a better song as their old song. It was fine, and also I don't know, the balance was kind of fine. It wasn't super energetic. I mean, I was more excited about Green Day than the rest of these other two guys.
Yeah, I was like, they're fine.
Yeah, they were like, meh, whatever. Green Day's playing.
Cool.
I was like, ooh, Green Day. And then it was fine.
Two other moments I think that I just want to mention. The first was, what the heck was Ninja wearing suit-wise? His suit, I don't...
Kind of had some camo in there.
Yeah, and I bring it up only because I found a great tweet that I want to show you guys, and this is an audio medium, so I'll have to describe it really well. I teased this tweet, and I'm going to show it to you guys. It is a Fire Emblem tweet, and essentially someone, this is Justice is Over, just tweeted this picture of Ninja wearing his camo suit with Caspar from Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I can never unsee this tweet, and I'm so thankful for @Justice is Over.
That's perfect.
Oh, I like the Muppets. Yeah. I was excited. As soon as I was like, there's going to be Beaker. The same thing. These two guys were like, also, okay, that's fine.
That entire thing was a good bit.
It was a really good bit. Yeah. I'm very happy that the Muppets were funny. Because sometimes they just kind of slot them in and they don't bother to write it really well. But it was funny. I liked it. It was a good bit. Anything with Beaker makes me smile.
But even putting Beaker into the Untitled Goose Game and then having the goose come out as a Muppet, it was just perfect.
Beaker's trying to calm the goose.
Yeah. Stealing the award, who won the award for whatever they were presenting. It was perfect.
It didn't matter.
It was perfection.
Beaker's trying to calm. Yeah. He's scrunching the goose's beak. It made me happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that was a perfect bit.
I think what I'll do is I'll quickly run through all the winners, and then if we have any final thoughts, we can share them. Best esports player was Bugga. He won the Fortnite World Cup. Best esports team, G2 for League of Legends.
Who?
You're not a fan of esports, so best esports host was Skoj.
Who?
Best esports event was League of Legends World Championship.
What?
The esports coach was Zonic.
Who?
Esports game was League of Legends.
Who?
Okay, from here, this is the stuff that you guys...
I think I know what that is.
Best action adventure game was Sekiro. Shadows
play
died
it.
Twice. I've not played it either. It's the new From Software game.
No, I didn't play it.
Best game direction was Death Stranding.
I really want to play this.
I feel like that's probably the game that Kojima probably should have won, right? If he was going to win one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. I'm super into Death Stranding. I just need to pick it up and play it.
Best independent game was Disco Elysium. Best role-playing game was Disco Elysium.
I'm interested
fresh
in this game
indie
too.
game was Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
They cleaned up
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm into this game. I don't know anything about it, but I really like the name of it, so I'm down to look it up.
Essentially, it's like a top-down role-playing game where you play a detective.
I like
that.
And
I guess just the actions that you can do in the game are, and the story and what you can actually achieve is very granular.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sit in a chair for too long and die in this game. It's
fun.
Crazy stuff like that.
Just like The Sims.
Just like real life. Player's Voice, which was it was a top 4 category voted on by the community. Death Stranding, Death Stranding, Fire Emblem, Star Wars, and Smash were in it, and Fire Emblem.
Fire
won.
Emblem, yeah, okay.
Because Fire Emblem didn't get any other big noms, so I screamed out loud when that came up. Because I played Fire Emblem for 105 hours and I loved it.
Gotcha.
Best performance was Mads Mikkelsen in Death Stranding.
Yep.
Best VR, Beat Saber, Best Ongoing Game, Fortnite, Multiplayer Game, Apex Legends, Mobile Game, Call of Duty Mobile, Best Sports and Racing Game, which Katie kind of screamed out loud, was Crash Team Racing Nitro
I was
Fueled.
very surprised, very happily, because I expected FIFA to just take it.
Yep.
As they, I think, often do. I don't know if they usually take that category.
It's not.
I assume
it's
they
not
do.
usually the racing game that wins.
No, because FIFA is a global
Phenomenon.
franchise that people all over the world play, and it's usually very well done because a lot of money is put into FIFA every single year. And I loved Crash Team Racing back in the day. I have not bought the remake. I kind of wanted to, and this kind of confirms it that I should just buy it. Because, oh my God, I was so excited. When they were making a remake, I was like, Crash Team Racing! I played so much of that game. I don't know in what year. I don't know how old I was. I feel like I was pretty young. It was a long time ago. But, yeah, I'm probably just going to have to buy it now. But good for them.
Family Game, Luigi's Mansion 3. Games for Impact was Gris. I think that's how you say that. Or Gris, depending on what country you're in. Best
Gris.
Action Game.
It's French.
Gris.
Gris.
Best Action Game, Devil May Cry 5. Best Art Direction, Control. Content Creator of the Year was Shroud. Best Strategy Game, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Best Audio Design, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Fighting Game, Smash Ultimate. Best Narrative, Disco Elysium. Score, Death Stranding. Community Support was Destiny 2. And Game of the Year, drumroll, surprisingly, was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, I didn't actually expect that game to take that category.
Yeah, because it was a stacked category. Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds.
I just feel like I was surprised that that game won because I feel like there was hype leading up to it, and then everyone just cooled on it. Like, I feel like it kind of just dropped off the face of the earth after it came out. And yeah, like, it was a long time ago, and it's not on anyone's mind. I feel, but even then, I have a hard time grasping that game is the game of the year when I barely even remember that it came out this year. You know what I mean?
It may have had such a strong following that felt really, really strongly about it, whereas Control and Death Stranding may have just kind of split the vote as far as everyone else. I don't know.
Bear in mind, the only game in this category that I have played is Smash Ultimate. So so
the one game that was not going to win.
Well, exactly, right? So I'm probably the last person to comment on it, but at the same time, I'm just kind of surprised in terms of the media and the hype around all these games and stuff, and the critical reception to it. I'm surprised Sekiro was the one that won.
Katie, you gave a real Oscar voter answer.
Oh, that
there.
was such an Oscars viewer answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was like, so if that's their number two choice, then what's going to be the number one choice?
Yes.
That everyone just says it's okay.
Because if there's two movies that are kind of similar as far as marketing, then it could split the vote. And then number 3 just kind of sneaks on in there. You're right. That is Oscar viewing input.
I guess the last question I have is, after watching all this Game Awards stuff, what game from 2019 are you most excited in kind of jumping into?
That I have not played. I am super excited to play Control.
Yep. I feel like Control and Death Stranding are probably my two
and Death Stranding. Control is going to freak me out, I think. But I will just kind of plow through my fear. I think it's just going to be creepy. I don't think it's going to be super scary, but I think it's going to be creepy to just play with my headphones on by myself. But I will play it because I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's going to be Death Stranding and Control for me. I don't think there's anything else really that caught me in any way. I mean, stuff like Untitled Goose Game looks great. I'm super going to go in and play that game, but I haven't had the chance yet.
Yeah, I'll probably play it at some point. Jacob is signing to me that I have to play it at some point. I will. I don't know when.
That's all you need to know for Goose Game. It's very good.
Yeah. So, Untitled Use game, but Control is probably top of my list of games that I want to look. What about you, Jacob?
I have most of these games either on Xbox Game Pass because it's a great service, Katie.
Oh, sure.
Or on my desk sitting waiting for me to finish my Masters. So Control, I'm definitely jumping into. Death Stranding is on the way. I just ordered it yesterday. Resident Evil 2 is sitting on my desk to play. Sekiro is like not a me game at all. I'm not even gonna try.
Oh, really?
I
would try that.
Like From Software games, like Dark Souls games, I just can't. Like I have zero interest in playing them.
Resident Evil, I want to try.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I'm gonna have to play it in the middle of the day.
Yep.
With all the lights on, with all the windows open. But I kind of want to because it looks like a really good game.
Yeah. And I couldn't get into Outer Worlds, and that's just because it's
fair.
a very mechanically dense game.
Yeah, I'm not a big Fallout person, so I feel like it's kind of in that genre, and I'm just not. It's really dense, and it's not for me. I have to say, Fallen Order, I don't think it would have won very many things. It would have been nominated for a lot of things
If it was eligible.
Yes,
What you're saying, yeah,
because I've enjoyed it. It's not perfect. It's fine. It's kind of buggy at sometimes. The combat's not that great. Maybe it's just a Star Wars thing that I really enjoy it, but I've liked it a lot, and I don't know. It's a shame that it's kind of in the middle there, but it's not the end of the world. That game's going to do really well, so it's fine.
Any final thoughts about the Game Awards, especially for you've watched them before?
I've watched them before. You as in Travis.
You as in Travis.
Yes.
I'm pointing in an audio medium. But I especially want your take, Katie, because it's your first experience watching the Game Awards. So I guess we'll start with you.
Okay. You know what? I really, really enjoyed them, especially because there are so many nods to the future and like what games are upcoming in the next year, is that it keeps it interesting as opposed to the Oscars and the Golden Globes and the Grammys that can be kind of stuffy. And so yeah, I thought it was really, really entertaining, and it moves at least this year moved very, very quickly, and it was entertaining the whole time. Were always things for us to comment on, so I enjoyed it. I will watch next year.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
I think you already invited us over for next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll just make this a yearly event.
I loved it. I was at the first Game Awards Flex in Vegas.
Flex. Oh, wow.
Flex. And like, I will protect Keeley whenever I can. My thing is like, and I'm just getting on a soapbox for a second. When people say like, it's so commercial, like, oh, we have so many ads. The Oscars have been around for 90 years. They are purchased by a network. There are ads that break up the action. Mm-hmm. The ads are just integrated here because you're tuning in and you're going to want to know about these products. So, like, it's a stream. Katie's saying it's a stream instead of a TV show that would have commercials.
It would have the same commercials.
Yeah.
If it was on a network television show, it would be the same thing. You would have commercials to pay for the show.
Yep.
That's how things are distributed. Mm-hmm. That's how you get content. People have to pay for it in order to make a big thing that rents out a big arena. Mm-hmm. And they fill it with people. You have to pay for it somehow. These things don't just happen.
Yep. And I think Keeley's gotten away from a lot of the less tasteful things that nothing's ever been like awful, but like before they've done brand integrations that were just like a little weird. Like they had this shtick, like shaver guy come one year and like show up and give away like virtually on the stage, give awards.
Oh,
so,
I'm
like,
glad I didn't see that.
Yeah. So like they've moved past a lot of this like bad brand stuff, and I think that the show is very tasteful. I'm looking forward to next year. Protect Jeff, and that's all I gotta say about the Game Awards. Travis?
I mean, yeah, this was lots of fun. I enjoyed watching it. I mean, anything that has Ikumi Nakamura, she is my wonderful, like, terrific. She was at the E3 at the same time she did she's pretty much a meme, but she's amazing. So anything that involves her, I am down for. So do recommend.
do recommend those are our thoughts about the Game Awards. If you want to learn more about the Left Behind Game Club, you can find more information about us on our website at leftbehindgame.club, on Twitter at leftbehindclub, or on Instagram at leftbehindgameclub. But you can also find us on our Discord. Travis, you know where to find Discord button, right?
Yeah, on the website. There's a ginormous Discord button that's sitting right there for you to press it.
And you can find that at leftbehindgame.club.
That's right.
Travis, if people want to find you on the internet and find all of your wonderful X-Men takes,
oh boy,
where can they do that?
You can find me at Travis Colenutt on the Twitter, and that's about it.
Katie, if people want to find you, they can find you in the Discord, right?
Mostly the Discord.
Yeah.
I'm on the Twitter. I don't really engage in the Twitter. I just watch. But yeah, I'm in the Discord. Yeah.
You're active on the Discord.
I am pretty active.
You are. And you're Lesperance on the Discord, right?
I am, yes, Lesperance.
Lesperance.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at Jacob McCourt and in the Discord if you like as well, and at jacobmccourt.com. That, my friends, is one less Game Awards left behind. I haven't seen the last Star Wars movies. It's fine.
Okay.
We're going to do this now, eh?
I don't understand how this happened. So we were talking about Fallen Order and how it was in the
Which
gap.
is relevant. It's not in the Game Awards.
It's in the gap between the two Game Awards, between last year's and this year's. And Jacob mentioned that, because I was like, oh, I'm so pumped for the next Star Wars movie. It's coming out really soon. It's, I think, next week on like the 22nd or before that. And then he said, I've only seen episodes 1 through 5, which Jacob hasn't seen Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and then I said something that made you even more mad, where I said I saw them in order,
oh, God,
starting with number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then didn't watch 6.
So that means he stopped after The Empire Strikes Back.
Misa Krista, I'm Jar Jar
No,
Binks.
please stop doing that. Don't do that. That's insulting.
But I'm Jar Jar Binks.
Please, no, God, no. So he watched The Empire Strikes Back, which has all of the lead-ins and all like the cliffhangers and the lead-ins of like what's gonna happen, and he decided to stop watching them. And why did he do this? I don't understand, and it hurts me inside. Because he watched 3 of the worst ones,
yeah,
and watched 2 of the good ones.
Yeah,
you've watched more bad ones than good ones.
Wouldn't you say 5 is like, out of the first 6 movies, 5 is the best one, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
So you stopped after the best one?
Yeah, it didn't hook me at all.
Oh my God.
I'm like, who's this Skywalker fellow?
What? You've had a movie? Oh, God.
How about Han Solo? He's a handsome fella.
Yeah, and he's in Carbonite, and you don't know what happens to him yet because you stopped watching.
Lando Calrissian, he seems like a guy who'd have a good party.
No, he screwed over Han, but you don't know what happens. You don't know if he redeems himself or not because you stopped watching after Empire Strikes Back.
Imagine if I stopped watching. There's just Han Solo and Carbonite forever.
Oh,
like, that's all
God.
I know.
You're hurting me.
I haven't seen the new ones. I haven't seen...
no.
I haven't seen Solo. I haven't seen Rogue One.
There isn't...
I just have a general disinterest
You don't need
in Star
to see
Wars.
Solo.
You know what's
okay.
really great?
You can skip Solo.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That's a great video game. But, yeah, Star Wars not my thing.
I came in late on Knights of the Old Republic, and it was already dated, and I was like, no, I can't play this.
Yeah, that's you
I was
mad at
sad.
me. Yeah.
I was sad.
Well, I'm sorry I made you sad.
You've made me sad in a lot of ways.
Don't worry about swearing.
Oh, also, how does this sound?
Oh, I actually got all this.
Oh, what? All this?
Could you play back my crunching noise?